Hi, Mike Kennedy, M005 Kennedy with you today, and we're doing a Spriratone deluxe focusing rail. First, what Spriratone? They were the company to be able to get accessories that you couldn't afford from the manufacturer. They made aftermarket lenses, attachments, all kinds of things. And really, they were some of the people that made, the only ones that made certain things. So here's a focusing rail. Now what's a focusing rail do for you? Well, number one, you mount it on a tripod and it gives you a very precise way to position the camera. Now people today, you get your digital cameras and they would say precision focusing. What do you mean? My camera autofocuses. Well, there's a lot of situations where you might want to be more precise than that. So I'll just mention a couple uses for this, two uses. When you're photographing close up an object, say you have a rock or a flower, it's got to be an immovable object for this technique. What you can do is set your lens to its optimal aperture for sharpness, which will probably be 2 or 3 stops down from its maximum setting, and then you focus on the front of the object. Then you take a picture, then you move in. You would move in towards it a certain amount, take another picture, in again, take another picture, take another picture, take another picture. Then you would have these different slices. Well, then you can use a program like Combine Z, or there are other programs. That's a freeware program, which unfortunately doesn't run on my laptop because I've got the wonderful Windows 8 on it. But if you've got Windows 7 maybe, or Windows XP or Vista, it would work, I think. And what it will do is take out the high contrast, which will be the in focus areas, and combine them all together in one shot. So you can have, instead of having to pick one spot on this object be in focus, you can get the whole object in focus. So there's one use of it. Another use is, and this would be non-moving subjects too, is stereo photographs. In other words, this way I'd have the tripod here, I'd have the camera facing you, I take one picture, move it approximately 2.5 inches, and take another picture. Then those two pictures could be combined with software or printed out. There's several different ways to do it. I won't go into it. But then you could view it as a 3D picture. And what is interesting about this is you can change the distance between the right and left views, and that becomes very important if you want to do some special effects or if you want to do close-ups. Now, something that people may not be aware of too is, people think, well, why do I have to move the camera closer? I can just zoom in. But you've got to realize the photograph you get by zooming in, say double the focal length, isn't the same picture you get from moving in closer. The dynamics of the photograph are completely different. Now, it may be fine for you to zoom in, or it may not, but you get to be aware of the fact that positioning your camera gives you a different effect than zooming in the lens. So let's just say you've got a 28mm lens on a digital camera, which would be around the normal focal length. Well, you want to get closer to something and you bump it up to 60 on your telephoto lens that comes with it. You just zoom in and you take the picture. Well, now if you put it back to 28, look at that same magnification and move in and retake that same picture, and you'll find that the picture is dramatically different. And where will it be mostly dramatically different is in the foreground and background of the object that you've taken a picture of. And it's just good to realize that with the advent of digital photography, some of the particulars of photography have been lost. And one of them is even, why would you even use a tripod? Well, you'd use a tripod if you want to carefully frame a shot. You want to take long exposures, which you can still do with digital. So there are a lot of uses for tripods, and there's a lot of uses for the idea of a focusing rail. But you have to understand there are some certain distinctions that have become lost with point and shoot cameras, which are what people use really expensive digital cameras for, the single lens reflex ones too. They basically have it on a program shutter and just snap away. They're not close enough, they zoom in and they take the shot, and again, that may be fine or it may not be, depending on what you want to do. So I challenge you to investigate, particularly maybe you don't have a focusing rail, to try to do slices of focused objects or to do 3D photography. But I at least challenge you to take some pictures with your zoom lens, then move in and take that same picture unzoomed in and look at the differences and see what you think. You'll find there's a difference. This is Mike Kennedy, M005, and we were highlighting here the Spriratone Deluxe Focusing Rail. We even have a model number. It's the, this is the new improved 140 millimeter focusing rail, 520659, made in Japan. Have a good day.